Have you ever found yourself thinking intensely about someone, only to have your phone light up with their message or their name suddenly appear while scrolling through social media? Maybe you woke up with an unexplained heaviness in your chest, only to learn later that this person was going through something profound at that exact moment. It feels like coincidence, but perhaps it's something much deeper. Carl Jung didn't believe in coincidences, not the meaningful ones. What he called synchronicity wasn't random chance, but a mirror of a deeper, often hidden connection between souls. Synchronicity arises when two events, seemingly unrelated, occur simultaneously, but carry powerful emotional meaning for the one experiencing them. It's the language of the soul, a language far more ancient and intuitive than logic. When there's an emotional, spiritual, or energetic bond between two people, these coincidences become more frequent. They are not fabrications of the mind. Something unseen is moving beneath the surface, linking two lives in subtle yet significant ways. Jung believed that the unconscious isn't confined within the boundaries of the self. It's something shared, a collective field of symbols, emotions, and universal archetypes that connect all human beings. Within this vast web, two people emotionally connected begin to vibrate within the same psychic space. So it's no wonder that when you think of someone with deep emotion, they might be thinking of you too. Not because of wishful thinking, but because your inner frequencies have synchronized. Like two instruments far apart, yet tuned to the same pitch, playing a silent melody only the heart can hear. Imagine two hearts beating miles apart, yet echoing the same emotional rhythm. This isn't fantasy. It's not telepathy in the science fiction sense. It's something more grounded, more real, an emotional resonance, an intuitive bridge, a form of unconscious empathy that binds people across time and space. This message is for you if you've ever felt something before it was said. If you've wondered whether he feels something too, even if he's never voiced it. And if you've experienced those surreal, almost magical moments when you just knew the connection was alive between you. Today, I want to share with you 10 powerful signs that may reveal this invisible emotional tether. Signs that, according to Jung and the principles of depth psychology, are not figments of imagination, but windows into a truth the heart recognizes instantly, even when the mind tries to dismiss it. Get ready, because once you understand these signs, those small, powerful moments will no longer feel accidental. You may begin to see them as whispers from the universe, or from his heart, reminding you that you live inside it, even if he hasn't found the words to tell you yet. For Jung, synchronicity wasn't just poetic coincidence. It was the universe, or rather the collective unconscious, speaking directly to us in symbols, moments, and emotions too meaningful to ignore. When two people are emotionally connected, synchronicity can appear in subtle yet powerful ways. If you can't stop thinking about someone and notice that this person starts acting differently, becoming more withdrawn, more attentive, or simply more present without any obvious reason, you might be sensing the effects of a synchronous connection. But how does this happen when two people share intense moments, deep emotions, or even silent tensions? An invisible thread begins to form between them. This bond doesn't rely on logic or constant communication. It's rooted in emotional memory and internal vibrations stored in both the body and mind. Have you ever felt like you could sense his mood before even speaking to him, or that you knew something was wrong before you got a message or call? That's not just your imagination. It's your unconscious acting as an emotional radar. Jung explained that our strongest emotions don't just stay in the conscious mind. They sink into the unconscious, where they continue to resonate. And if he also felt something powerful in your presence, His unconscious stores that same energy and sometimes activates it at the exact moment you do. But there's something even deeper. When two people think about each other, even in silence, they may begin to project images, memories, and emotions. These projections, moving through the collective unconscious, can align in time like two signals finally meeting in the same frequency. That's why on those days when you feel him closer than ever, he might suddenly reach out. He might text you for no clear reason. He might even react emotionally to something you never directly showed him. It's an emotional echo, a quiet symphony between two hearts that still remember each other, still seek each other, still resonate with one another. In real life, this shows up in subtle ways. A glance that meets yours at the exact moment you need it most. A post that feels like it was written just for you. Recurring dream songs that play at precisely the right time. Nothing is truly random when there's an unresolved story or a deep emotional. A bond between two people. Synchronicity when it comes to love is the language of a soul in love. It's what happens when there are no words, but the connection is still alive. In the next part, we'll explore the first clear signs that you and this person are thinking of each other at the same time. These signs may not be obvious, but once you notice them, you won't be able to ignore them. Sign number 1, energetic shifts without logical explanation. One of the strongest and hardest to explain signs is a sudden emotional shift with no clear cause. You're feeling calm, balanced, and out of nowhere comes anxiety, longing, melancholy, or even a rush of joy for no apparent reason. Has this ever happened to you? It might be much more than just a change in mood. Jung described the unconscious as a connected web in which our deepest emotions not only affect us, but ripple outward, sometimes reaching those we're emotionally and psychologically tied to. In other words, if he's thinking about you with emotion, his energy starts to move. And if there's a real connection between you, you may feel it even if he says nothing. This energetic manifestation can take many forms. You wake up with a feeling that doesn't seem like your own. You're suddenly swept by a sadness you can't trace. You feel an overwhelming urge to text him, or you sense his presence as if he might walk through the door at any moment. These emotional shifts are not random. When two people are emotionally connected, especially on a deep unconscious level, their emotional systems can begin to resonate. It's as if your soul is picking up on the vibrations of his soul. And here's where things get truly powerful. These kinds of signals often appear during moments of inner transformation. He might be wrestling with intense feelings. And toward you fear, desire, confusion, unresolved. Love and that inner turmoil echoes within you like an emotional mirror. Carl Jung would describe this as a manifestation of what he called the collective unconscious. It's not telepathy, but something even more. Real deep attunementers, if the universe is subtly letting you know that you're more connected than you, might logically admit important to note, these emotional changes aren't always positive. Sign number 2, energetic shifts that mirror his thoughts. There are moments when something inside you shifts, without explanation. A sudden heaviness in your chest, a wave of emotion, a longing that wasn't there 5 minutes ago. And soon after, you hear from him. You see a sign, or you wake up from a dream with his name on your lips. Coincidence? Perhaps, but according to Jung, such experiences may be synchronicities. Two seemingly separate realities mirroring one another through emotional resonance. When two people are connected deeply, their unconscious minds can move in rhythm, even without direct contact. You might feel it as an unexplained urge to reach out, a burst of emotion with no obvious cause, or a sudden sense of presence as if he's near. These are energetic impressions, the soul's way of reaching out when words and logic fall short. You may even experience it physically, goosebumps, a tightness in your chest, a surge of warmth or ache. Your intuition, body, and emotions are far more sensitive than your rational mind. And if you feel the need to message him without knowing why, and he replies that he was just thinking of you, That's not just coincidence, that's emotional synchronicity in action. Jung once said, the unconscious of two connected people can sometimes operate as one. It's not something you can force, nor something predictable. But when it happens, it feels like a soft collision of two invisible forces. Sign number 3, silence that feels loud. No texts, no calls. Yet the silence feels dense, full, almost alive. It's not absence you feel, but something unspoken trying to reach you. Have you ever sensed that something is happening on the other side of that silence? Jung taught that the unconscious doesn't stop speaking when words do. In deep emotional bonds, silence becomes charged. It's as if the air between you holds the weight of unsent messages, unexpressed feelings, suppressed longings. This silence doesn't signal indifference. It whispers of hesitation, confusion, or longing. Sometimes it says, I'm thinking of you, but I'm afraid. Or I feel you, but I'm not ready. You sense what he doesn't say, because the soul recognizes what the lips resist speaking, and even when he hides it, you feel it. Sign number 4, when coincidences aren't really coincidences. Picture this, he suddenly pops into your mind, and right at that moment, a song that reminds you of him starts playing. Or maybe you notice his name on a random sign, someone unexpectedly mentions him, or you scroll past a quote he used to say. It feels like coincidence, but is it? Carl Jung didn't think so. He introduced the idea of synchronicity, the meaningful alignment of events that aren't causally related, but deeply significant to the person experiencing them. In other words, life begins to echo your inner world. When two people share an emotional connection, it can ripple outward, shaping the world around them in mysterious ways. Just as you feel ready to let go, a memory resurfaces. You consider texting him, and he suddenly reaches out. These aren't just flukes, they're how the unconscious speaks, not in language but in symbols, timing and emotion. And if the signs feel frequent, intense, or emotionally charged, it's not random. It could mean that he's sensing the same pull, that his energy is touching yours in ways that neither of you can explain. But remember, not every coincidence carries meaning. What matters is your presence and awareness. If the moment stirs something deep within you, it's likely trying to show you something. Because synchronicity isn't just a mirror, it's a bridge between souls that haven't finished speaking to each other. Sign number 5, you sense he'll return, and then he does. You dream of him. You feel his presence intensify. A quiet inner voice tells you he'll come back. Then, days later, he does. Is this just coincidence? Or is your intuition speaking louder than reason? Jung believed the unconscious can detect what the conscious mind overlooks, not because it predicts the future, but because it picks up on subtle emotional clues. When a strong bond exists, you may sense his conflict, his longing, even his intentions, without understanding how. If you feel that he hasn't truly left, it's because your emotional body is still attuned to his energy. And when life confirms that feeling, it's worth asking, what else do you know deep down that you haven't admitted yet? Sign number 6, his emotional energy still affects you. He's not here, but thinking of him either brings you peace or stirs up a storm inside you. His memory doesn't rest, it moves you. That's because this wasn't just any connection. His energy left an imprint, and that emotional mark still vibrates within you. In many cases, your energy is still echoing inside him too. When someone can alter your inner state just by existing in your mind, that's not coincidence. It's a sign of an unresolved bond. A bond that may be tangled in fear, unspoken feelings, or timing. Jung believed the unconscious remembers everything, and what we can't say with words finds its way through mood, memory, and sensation. So if you can't stop feeling him, chances are he's feeling you too. Sign number 7, simultaneous emotional shifts. You both wake up at odd hours, or you feel a wave of nostalgia out of nowhere. and later find out he was feeling the same. Even without communication, your emotional states seem to sync. How can this be? Energy psychology offers a clue. Strong emotional bonds can create a subtle form of unconscious communication. Jung called it the collective unconscious, a shared emotional field that connects people on a deeper level. This doesn't mean you can hear each other's thoughts, but you can sense emotional ripples across the space between you. What you feel deeply may be mirrored in him. These parallel emotional patterns aren't fantasy. They are evidence of a silent resonance that grows more vivid as the bond intensifies. Sometimes, when someone is thinking of you with great emotional force, you feel it, even if no word has been spoken. Sign number 8. Dreams that speak louder than words. One of the deepest ways the unconscious expresses itself is through dreams. And when there's a strong emotional tie between two people, that connection often finds its way into the dream world. Have you ever dreamt of him on the very night you sensed he was thinking of you? Or had dreams so vivid they stayed with you, longer than real conversations ever did? This isn't just sentimentality, it's the unconscious trying to finish a conversation your conscious mind can't. Carl Jung believed dreams are not meaningless. They're symbolic attempts to bring emotional truth to the surface. So if you dream of him during moments of inner conflict or deep longing, it could be your soul showing you the depth of the bond. What matters most isn't the exact events in the dream, but the emotions they carry. When you wake up feeling protected, loved, or unsettled after seeing him in a dream, take notice. Your unconscious is processing something important. And sometimes these aren't just your dreams. Some people report mirror dreams, where both parties dream of each other around the same time or with overlapping themes. Jung would say, this points to a psychic resonance, a shared energetic space. Sign number 9, recurring synchronicities. Numbers, songs, symbols. Have you ever noticed his name pop up on a billboard, in a book, or during a show, right when your mind was drifting to him? Or maybe a song that holds meaning between you two begins to play out of nowhere. Perhaps the numbers 1111 or 2222 keep appearing whenever he crosses your thoughts. These moments might seem random, but they aren't. Carl Jung introduced the idea of synchronicity, events that are not linked by cause, but by significance. The unconscious doesn't speak in plain words. It speaks in symbols, patterns, and emotion. And when a deep emotional connection exists, these signs appear as reflections of what your inner world is processing. They act as mirrors, reminding you of his presence, even when he's nowhere near. These aren't definitive proofs of love, but signals from the unconscious. And if you're receiving them, he might be too, without fully understanding why. The question isn't whether the signs are real, but whether you're open to receiving what they might be trying to say. Sign number 10. You feel his presence, even when he's not there. You're alone. The night is quiet, yet suddenly it feels like he's there. Not in your thoughts, but as a sensation, as if his energy is brushing against your skin, as if his absence is not truly absent. This experience is more than imagination. It's a mix of somatic memory and emotional energy. The body remembers the ones it loved. Emotional bonds embed themselves physically, surfacing in moments of stillness or longing. Sometimes it's not just memory, but a form of unconscious projection, an intuitive sense that defies logic. When the bond is strong, distance becomes irrelevant. His presence is felt because part of him still echoes inside you. Summary: if you can feel him without a word being said, there's a good chance he feels you too. There might be no texts, no open confessions, no declarations of missing you, but your body knows. Your soul feels it. Your unconscious reveals it through symbols, dreams, synchronicities, and emotions that defy logic. These 10 signs are not scientific evidence, but they are emotional truths, subtle signals pointing to a connection that still exists beneath the surface. Even if he's ignoring it, suppressing it, or unsure of it, you are sensing something real that remains unspoken. So trust your intuition, but guard your heart, because while the soul can love in silence, love still deserves to be shown, not just felt. As Jung once said, what you resist not only persists, it grows stronger. But what you accept has the power to transform you.